Good morning, everyone. I'm Elise as Another Truth on YouTube. Thanks so much for joining me today. I hope you're all doing well and taking great care of yourselves. And my Zeus says hello to all of you. Before I get into it, I just wanted to give you a quick heads up. Now, today's video is going to cover some sensitive topics, including mental health, emotional dysregulation, and relationship struggles. If these topics trigger you in any way, or if you're not in the mood for it right now, feel free to check back later for something different. I completely understand. Now, I want to share something else with you. While I wrote this script entirely on my own, and yes, it is scripted for this time, I had to use ChatGPT to help me organize some of my thoughts. Due to symptoms of my emotional dysregulation I've been experiencing very recently, it was really challenging to structure everything coherently on my own. Using this tool helped me to bring clarity to my message and present it in a more organized way. I do not use this tool as a replacement of my own words, research, or effort, nor does it replace my thoughts. Now, let me talk about what's going on this week. It's been a bit of a roller coaster, honestly. One of the toughest things I've been grappling with is accepting that human chaos and unpredictable behavior are a part of life. It's not that we should accept bad behavior, but sometimes things are just out of our control. Now, I'm not talking about excusing bad behavior, but sometimes other people have different ideas about things, and that's something that we can't control, but we can control how we react to that. I'm used to manage unpredictability in my own life, sometimes not successfully, and sometimes successfully, but it's been challenging dealing with how others handle situations, especially when their behavior affects me directly. So my reaction to these things have not been normal and have not been the things that I would consider productive emotional regulation. This week I've been experiencing a lot of it. For those who aren't familiar with the term, it means having difficulty managing emotional responses. This can look like feeling overwhelmed by emotions like anger, sadness, or anxiety, even when the situation doesn't seem to warrant it. I've also had some mood swings and finding myself more in the world of deep lows than anything else. Calming down after these intense emotional reactions has been a real struggle, and I found myself making some impulsive decisions that don't always reflect my best judgment. Now, persistent negative feelings of worthlessness and guilt have also been a challenge more than anything else because the other stuff is manageable, but when I have the persistent negative feelings of worthlessness every time a challenge comes up, it makes it hard for me to move past difficult situations. Again, that is my responsibility and nobody else's. Now, again, I want to go over what is emotional dysregulation. Intense emotional reactions, feeling overwhelmed by emotions like anger, sadness, anxiety, sometimes in situations that others might not find as impactful. Rapid mood swings, moods that swing from high energy to deep lows quite suddenly. 1 minute, someone feels okay, and the next minute, they're completely drained. This is one of those things I've been experiencing. Having some difficulty calming down after experiencing these intense emotional reactions, it's hard to return to a more balanced state. For me, I have found it more challenging to calm down and regain my composure this week more than it's been in a couple of years. Impulsivity. Now, my level of impulsivity is greatly reduced. I've notice making some decisions or react in some ways that seem impulsive. Again, which has not been typical behavior I've been exhibiting a lot, like since the past 2 years. But still, it's as though my heightened emotional state is taken over. It's not taken over, really. It seems like that. It's just I'm having a bad week, but these feelings still come up. Here's the thing again, I've been struggling with persistent negative feelings, and part of emotional dysregulation is holding on to feelings of worthlessness and guilt long after the initial situation has passed, which can make it hard to move on and feel positive about one's accomplishments. This has been my biggest problem this week, and it's my biggest problem overall. And it does dampen anything that I do, although I've been so much better at following through on my projects and taking responsibility and accountability for myself. And I'm still on that path because I have a lot to make up for. But it has been an overall uh, challenge to get myself feeling better about myself. One major stressor this week was a proposal I spent 3 weeks working on. It was for an educational skills training that I thought would be incredibly beneficial for my career and my volunteer work. However, the feedback I received felt dismissive and biased. The quick dismissal, and I'm telling you, it was a matter of 5 minutes after they finally received it. And that was an odyssey in itself because I couldn't get the material to them. They said that they had not received it, but when I got it through their secretary, they got it easily. So I don't know what happened. I think somebody's personally had either computer issues or they had just issues doing their work. I felt frustrated. I had put so much effort into this that I felt betrayed. I felt angry and deeply sad, and managing these emotions while trying to advocate for myself was incredibly challenging. The day after receiving the feedback, I had a therapy session and several professional meetings. Therapy was a real lifeline. It provided a space where I felt understood and respected, and my therapist helped me process my feelings. This was crucial in helping me regain some emotional balance. The professional meetings were a stark contrast to the emotional turmoil I had been experiencing. In these meetings, I felt more in control and capable. Discussing projects and plans with colleagues and fellow delegates helped me distract me from the stress of the previous days and gave me a sense of accomplishment, which is true. I also had the opportunity to be interviewed by a prominent local publication. This was a big chance to share the work our committee is doing, but it came at a really tough time. I was overwhelmed with meetings and didn't have the emotional energy or organizational capacity to prepare myself properly in short order. I wanted to make a good impression and showcase our work, but with everything going on in the last minute request, I struggled to organize my thoughts and present them effectively. Despite these challenges, I'm grateful for the chance to connect with the publication in the future. On the bright side, I found comfort in small rituals, which helped me get through the day. Although I missed my usual Saturday cafe visit, I treated myself to a new Dutch oven pot and experimented with making my own cold brew coffee with different flavors. These little acts of self-care helped me find some balance and comfort during a stressful week. Of course, buying things and consuming things, eating things, I mean, that isn't what something that I would consider self-care. More as trying to, like buying a Dutch oven pot. I had an idea for a healthy soup I want to make. And this will give me encouragement to do that and to make it in small batches, because I can't save everything. Not everything freezes well, not everything saves well. Sometimes I just want to eat it right then and there, and that's it. But it encourages me to do those things. I also did a little bit of um, cycling. I did some walking. I did a lot of resting on my Saturday. So I had to, kind of recoup and pull it together. So it's been a tough week, and I've definitely felt exhausted, like I'm not measuring up at times. But even when I'm struggling, I've learned the importance of moving forward, of keeping that momentum. My work in the community and my role in my committee mean a lot to me, and I'm committed to doing my best despite the challenges. So even when I'm healthy enough to understand what's going on, and it's situational, even though I have a chronic problem, it also comes up situationally. So I'm able to see the differences between that. But I'll tell you, oh, it was very challenging for me. But even when I'm struggling, again, I've learned to keep moving on. My work in the community and my role in my community do mean a lot to me. I can't emphasize that enough. Those things are the things I hang on to. The love that I have for my family, from my best friend, from my cat, from the community, and the love that I get from them, the hard-earned trust, all of those things. These are things that matter to me. To me, this is more than coin. To me, this is more than that temporary fame that fades. When you build that trust with people, with the day in and day out of doing the best that you can and doing it in the right way and not taking shortcuts and not attention seeking, you know, it's true that a healthy level of narcissism, and it's healthy, when you want to make a change, when you want to say, I'm not going to sit on my ass and whine and cry all day about stuff, I'm going to get out there and do it. That, it's part of that healthy narcissism. I don't like to be put on the spot in public. I have issues with a lot of that, but I also know that I'm already in the public. I'm here on YouTube. I do my community based work. Okay, there are things that I'm doing because I do want to help, to contribute, among others, to make a difference. So, so learning to use narcissism in a healthy way, to do that without trampling on the experiences and um, lives of others. It's also very beneficial to kind of work in the background as well, in a positive way in any project, to collaborate with others, because it isn't just about one person doing it. It's about all of us doing that to make that difference. I really love that. I really love being a part of a group that strives to do positive things for the community. And I'm not talking about influencing or that kind of thing, although people do that, and that's fine. That's their work. Mine has more to contribute to public policy and the public well-being, rather than some personal endeavor of mine. And I'm not putting down anybody else's work. This is just my forte, because it also teaches me a lot about the world boundaries and being ethical in decision making. And I've learned so much. I've learned so much in what I do. It's amazing how much I've learned. It gives me that self-confidence that I'm not a victim anymore. I don't need to make myself a victim. I don't need to cry victimhood when things don't go my way, because it impacts people in the most horrible way. It is the worst thing that can be done, and we do it to ourselves first when we indulge in that. So all these years of these pity parties, although my emotional needs were not met, I would have these pity parties and go into these deep periods of depression and avoidance behaviors, so I didn't have to deal with that rejection and pain anymore, because I internalized all of that. And that's not good. And it's not good for anybody else around me when I do that. Um, I want to just say I really appreciate your support and understanding as I navigate these ups and downs. If you've had similar experiences, or if you have any thoughts you'd like to share, only if you're comfortable and you feel safe in doing so, make a comment. I don't automatically, I manually review every message that comes through. I've included resources in the description box in case you need to reach out for a professional, because I'm not a professional. Everything I say is based on only my experience, and it's only my side of the story.